Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Optimal Media Solution, a division of Times Internet Limited, a Times of India company, I, Sabrina, is delighted to announce to host the second edition of Brihaspati Technologies Limited presents Times Power Women Telangana 2025. Let us begin today's event with the lighting of the lamp ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Dr. Soumya Mishra.
It is an immense honor to stand before you at the Times Power Women 2025 Awards, a celebration not just of success, but of spirit, courage, resilience, and the extraordinary leadership of women who are reshaping the world we live in. At the outset, I congratulate all the recipients of Times Power Women Awards 2025. A reminder that in every sector, from governance to grassroots, from innovation to education, women are no longer waiting for permission. They are claiming their rightful place at the table, and in many cases, they are bringing their own designated and designed platforms. We gather here today not only to celebrate individual brilliance, but to affirm our collective commitment to drive progress through feminine leadership, which has purpose, passion, and urgency. Because in today's world, women's leadership is no longer optional, it is essential. In today's world, we need diversity, because diverse voices spark innovation. We need inclusivity, because inclusive leadership drives creativity. And this is what women leadership brings in.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, let us begin the first set of awards. Let me throw some light on the category, which is the classical Kuchipudi dancer. All right, in this category, please put your hands together for our first awardee, G. Padmaja Reddy. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. Moving on to our next category, which is the heritage activist, which goes to Anuradha Reddy. Please, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Miss Anuradha Reddy. So let us move on to our next award, which is in the category of Contemporary Visual Artist. And the awardee is Priyanka Alay. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Priyanka Alay, a renowned contemporary artist from Hyderabad, a doctorate holder and an international resident artist. Moving on to our next category, which is Exemplary Leader in Education, which goes to Miss Begum Salwa Khan. Ladies and gentlemen, with a huge round of applause from Nasser Education Society. Let us quickly move on to our next category, which is Excellence in Educational Leadership and Innovation, which goes to Anupama Rao and Chitra Raghunathan from Anthe Montessori House of Children. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put your hands together for the two ladies who are going to join us, Anupama and Chitra. For the next category, which is Entrepreneurship and Health Tech, which goes to Deepika T. Grandhi from IMAS Healthcare. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for Ms. Deepika. I request Mr. Raj Shekhar sir to please join us on stage. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to our next category, which is sports, in particular badminton. Now, there are no surprises for it. Unfortunately, she couldn't join us, so we'll have a representative who will be coming and joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, the awardee in the sports category, badminton, goes to Saina Nehwal. We move on to our next category, which is excellence in embedded system innovation, which goes to G.V. Kumari from Erica Embedded Systems Private Limited. Can we have G.V. Kumari ma'am to please join us on stage while she is coming on stage? The next category is yoga trainer. And in this category, the winner is Arpita Roy. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for Arpita Roy. So it'll be wonderful to hear from you. What do you think about women?
When after completion of my BTech, my mother, after completion of my intermediate, my mother wants me to study in Hyderabad. Like where she had a long fight with my father to get me here. That is the stepping stone for my success. And second, like my life partner and my business partner, my wife, Haima, she supported me from scratch. When I started this business journey, really, I got a huge support from my wife.
Sri Datta Institution for all the support. And on that note, I would request Mr. G. Devendra Vikram Reddy, Director, Sri Datta Institution.
India's history with respect to women empowerment is a little checkered. On the one hand, we had immense women participation since ancient times. They were part of councils like Samiti, wherein they were equal participants in administration. They developed immense literary work. We've had queens who've ruled, names of which, for example, are like Ahalya Bai Holkar, Rani Jhansi, and Rani Rudramadevi, Rani Gaidinillu. I can name so many of them. And they've contributed immensely to our history, to our culture.
Ladies and gentlemen, to paint our stage yellow, put your hands together for Shreya Saran, ladies and gentlemen.
Whether it's gender equality or the amount of women that I see at my own workplace has increased incredibly in last 25 years. But there's a long way to go, you know. So it's like forever you're fighting. And there's a beautiful thing, Indra Nooyi once said that it's like for a man, you're running the race and you're amazingly running. And for a woman, when you're running, you have like so many weights like pulling you down. You know, by the time you have a child, you think, I'm going to get back and I'm going to work harder. And people are like, do you really want to work? And they start questioning if you should be doing long hours, which a man never gets questioned. By the time your children are slightly older, you know, you're hit by menopause. And by the time that gets over, when you're old enough to really, when you have all the wisdom, it's really hard to get back. So you always have these problems, but I think the best part about being who we are is we're strong, we're beautiful inside out, we give love, and no matter what happens, we get up every morning and show up. I think that's the best part.
So let us first call our first awardee in the category of Excellence in Health Education, which goes to Dr. C.H. Preeti Reddy from Mallareddy Vishwavidyapeeth, ladies and gentlemen. Let us move on to our next category, which is sports in the badminton category, which goes to Seki Reddy, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, moving on to our next category, sports in cricket. And that goes to Gongari Trisha, ladies and gentlemen. Moving on to our next category, ladies and gentlemen, excellence in bridal jewelry designing goes to Jasti Vishnu Priya, ladies and gentlemen, from Anant Diamonds. Congratulations. Next category, ladies and gentlemen, transformational leader in obstetrics and gynecology, which goes to Dr. Pranati Reddy, ladies and gentlemen, once again inviting her on stage. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, to our next woman who's going to join us in the category of Women Entrepreneur in Luxury Destination Travel, which goes to Anuradha Shetty, ladies and gentlemen, RL Tours and Travel. Move on to our next category, ladies and gentlemen, Young Women Entrepreneur in School Education. This category, the winner is Sucheta Reddy from Janapriya Group of Schools. Congratulations to you. And moving on to our next category, ladies and gentlemen, excellence in design education, which goes to Ajita Reddy Yogesh. Once again, put your hands together from Hampstead College of Creative Education. Moving on to our next category, ladies and gentlemen, will be excellence in healthcare entrepreneurship. And in this category, the winner is Dr. B. Sirisha Rani from Metsi Multi-Speciality Hospital and IVF. Moving on to our next category, entrepreneurship in theme park, which goes to Pratibha Kunda. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause. While going to our next category, which is going to be the International Makeup Educator. And the recipient of this category goes to Tamanna F. Ruse. Moving on to the next category, contribution towards film industry, which goes to Neeraja Kona. Ladies and gentlemen, can we make some noise for Neeraja while she's joining us on stage? Come on. Quickly, let us move on to our next category. The category is Women Entrepreneur in Luxury Wedding Events, which goes to Harika Verma, ladies and gentlemen, from In White Space Events. Congratulations to Harika. Moving on to our next category, ladies and gentlemen, eminent in healthcare specialist, which goes to Dr. Suvarna Narava. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause from Go Hospitals and High Pro Diagnostics. Congratulations. Moving on to our next category, ladies and gentlemen, service excellence in endodontist and conservative dentistry, which goes to Dr. Aparajita from Continent Hospital. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause to Dr. Aparajita. Moving on to our next category, ladies and gentlemen, is leadership excellence in corporate services, which goes to Mamata Madhireddy. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, ma'am, I request you to join us on stage. HSBC India Global Service Center. Ladies and gentlemen, moving on to our next category is entrepreneur in fine jewelry and luxury brands, which goes to Shweta Dandamuri from Shruti Laya Fine Jewelry and Hetvi Luxury. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Ms. Shweta while she's joining us on stage. All right, moving on to our next category, ladies and gentlemen, service excellence and healthcare rheumatology, which goes to Dr. Sunita Kaidi. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome her with a huge round of applause from Continent Hospital. Quickly, let us move on to our next category. Outstanding achievements in clinical nutrition and integrative wellness coaching goes to Deepika Chalasani. To the woman author in multi-genre writing. In this category, the winner is Kiran Chakravarti Suman. Can we have Kiran joining us on stage? Moving on to our next category, excellence in lab-grown diamond jewelry. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Rekha Somavarapu. Can we have Ms. Rekha from Starla Jewelers to join us on stage? Yes, we can see all your sparkling diamonds. Moving on to our next category, excellence in curating Kanchi Varam saris. Put your hands together for Vemi Reddy Gayatri Reddy from Gayatri Reddy Silks. Can we have her on stage, please? Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome her with a huge round of applause. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, to our next category, service excellence in cosmetic dentistry, which goes to Dr. Sindhura Jamulamudi from Pradham Dental. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Sindhura, I request you to please join us on stage. Two more awards to go. Let the energies be up till then for the next category, acting fresh face, which goes to Sumaya Reddy. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to Sumaya Reddy. The popular actress category. Put your hands together for Akshara Gowda. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations. Thank you to Shreya Saran for being so patient, for giving the award to every deserving woman. This is Sabrina signing off. Goodbye, good night, have a wonderful year ahead.
టైమ్స్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా వాళ్ళు ఇలాగా సక్సెస్ఫుల్ ఉమెన్ని హానర్ చేయడం అనేది ఇట్స్ నాట్ ఏ స్మాల్ థింగ్ అండ్ ఐ వాంటెడ్ టు బీ ఎ పార్ట్ ఇన్ దట్ లైక్ గ్రేట్ ఈవెంట్. సో నా లైఫ్లో బికాస్ ఆఫ్ ఉమెన్ వీ లైక్ అ పవర్ఫుల్ ఉమెన్ we achieved a lot, so it's a kind of a tribute to all the women in the society, so like that makes us to be a part of this great event.
Last year we've opened a new brand called Butterfly Essentials. The brand is about products which is with respect to mother and baby, so anything with respect to child care, anything with respect to motherhood. If you need diapers, if you need wipes, if you need toys, if you need stationery, if you need books, you can get it at the store. Currently, we have about 18 stores pan-India. We're opening about 10 stores this year. And we also have a website, www.butterflyessentials.in. So do visit us. You can also shop through our website. It's a great brand. It's a homegrown brand from Hyderabad.
I first of all thanks of India for conferring this show for the powerful woman of Hyderabad. Nasser Education Society was started in 1965 by Begum Anis Khan. And later, today I am the director to the school, and Nasser believes in holistic education, and We have a separate boys' school and a girls' school.
చాలా హ్యాపీగా ఉంది బికాజ్ పవర్ పై విమెన్స్ అన్నారు కాబట్టి ఓన్లీ ఫర్ విమెన్స్, సో ఐ ఫీల్ లైక్ స్పెషల్గా ఉంది. ఐ మీన్ మాకైతే లైక్ ఫిట్నెస్ ఉంటుంది, ఎవ్రీడే డైట్ అన్నీ ఉంటాయి. అండ్ ద సేమ్ థింగ్ ఎవరన్నా కానీ వాళ్ళు స్పోర్ట్స్లో లేకపోయినా కానీ దే కెన్ టేక్ వన్ స్పోర్ట్స్ అండ్ ప్లే అట్లీస్ట్ ఫర్ దట్ ఫిట్నెస్ కోసం అన్నా ఎంజాయ్ చేయడానికి. ఎస్,
అవర్ స్కూల్స్ ఆర్ 25 years old, ఫౌండెడ్ బై మిస్టర్ రవీందర్ రెడ్డి గారు. వారు లే చేసిన ఫౌండేషన్ మీదనే వీఆర్ టేకింగ్ థింగ్స్ ఫార్వర్డ్. అండ్ ఈరోజు టైమ్స్ వాళ్ళు ఈ ఈవెంట్ చేసి ఉమెన్ ఎంకరేజ్ చేయడము, అప్రిషియేట్ చేయడము ఇస్ ట్రూలీ రిమార్కబుల్. అండ్ ఐఎమ్ వెరీ గ్లాడ్ టు బీ అ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ ఈవెంట్. అండ్ థ్యాంక్ యూ టైమ్స్ ఫర్ ది అవార్డ్.
టైమ్స్ పవర్ ఉమెన్ తెలంగాణ ఈ అవార్డు ఇవ్వడం నాకు చాలా సంతోషంగా ఉంది. లాస్ట్ ఇయరే రావాల్సింది, బట్ డ్యూ టు టోర్నమెంట్ స్కెడ్యూల్ నేను రాలేకపోయాను. సో ఐ థింక్ ఐ వుడ్ లైక్ టు థ్యాంక్ టైమ్స్ పవర్ ఉమెన్ ఫర్ గివ్ మీ దిస్ అవార్డ్. మా గురువు అని చెప్తాను గోపిచంద్ గారు, ఎందుకంటే ఫ్రమ్ రూట్స్ లెవెల్ నుంచి హీ గాట్ ఎ లాట్ టు బ్యాడ్మింటన్. ఆయన వల్ల ఇంకా మా పేరెంట్స్ వల్ల నేను ఇలా నించొని మీ అందరి ముందు మాట్లాడలేస్తున్నాను. స్పోర్ట్ ఫర్ ఉమెన్ వాజ్ వెరీ టఫ్ బ్యాక్ దెన్, ఎందుకంటే నాకు ఇంకా గుర్తుంది లైక్ వెన్ ఐ యూస్ టు వేర్ షార్ట్స్ అండ్ ప్లే. మా తాతయ్య వాళ్ళు అందరూ ఏంటమ్మా అమ్మాయికి ఎలా వేసి పంపిస్తున్నావు అని చెప్పి. సో బట్ ఐ థింక్ మై పేరెంట్స్ సపోర్టెడ్ మీ ఎ లాట్ అండ్ దే వర్ ద బ్యాక్ బోన్. మై బ్రదర్ ఆల్సో వాజ్ అ బ్యాడ్మింటన్ ప్లేయర్.
స్ట్రెస్ ఇస్ ద బిగ్గెస్ట్ కంటెండర్ ఫర్ ఎనీథింగ్, ఎనీ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ లైఫ్, ఇన్ ఎనీ విచ్ వే. సో దాన్ని మనం ఎంత కంట్రోల్ చేయగలిగితే దట్స్ ద ఓన్లీ వే ఐ థింక్ వీ కీప్ గెటింగ్ బెటర్. ఇప్పుడు బీయింగ్ అ మదర్ ఆర్ బీయింగ్ ఇప్పుడు డైరెక్టర్ ఆర్ డిజైనర్ ఆర్ ఎనీ ఆఫ్ దీస్ డిఫరెంట్ థింగ్స్ దట్ వీ కీప్ డూయింగ్, it's very important to maintain that one balance and keep checking in with yourself, and that's the only way you stay sane.